Okay, so Kahi, can you start maybe by telling us a little bit about what you do now and what you used to do?
Okay, so we'll start with what I used to do and segue into the next part. So I used to, I've always been a surfer pretty much, and I think that's like the key thing here. Before I was into cleaning beaches, I helped run a real estate development company. We built high rises and houses in San Diego and in Hawaii. And then at the last market turn in 2008, cashed out and traveled the world for 2 years. And that's when I really saw what was happening to the world from a poor waste management side, from an overconsumption of just everything side, and came back home to Hawaii with a different perspective on how we should be living here in Hawaii, and saw that we had a lot of work to do. Like, our beaches were dirty. People were just consuming single-use plastic water bottles like it was going out of style. There was a lot of apathy to the ocean and to the coastlines in general, and I wanted to change that. So that's where we got Sustainable Coastlines started. Was through Louise and my travels, and then also through having a really great team of friends here in Hawaii that also felt the same way. And we all pitched in $50 one day and hosted our first beach cleanup, and close to 200 people came out and cleaned. We knew, hey, there's a need here. Let's fill it.
And what was the exact moment then that you decided to make the change, to really make this your new career?
The main change was realizing that I could make a living out of this. When people think of nonprofits, you think like, how do they survive? How do they make it work? But if you work hard enough, you make the right connections, you can figure out how to sustain the organization. So the point where I really was, okay, I'm going to make this my career, was the point when I realized that it was sustainable. You really take a huge sacrifice in the amount of money that you make versus working in the corporate world, but the return on your investment of time is so worth it. Like, getting to travel around the world, getting to see that you're making a difference, actually see tangible differences on the services or programs that you provide on the people, or the environment, is well worth it. It's like, I'm all for it.
You mentioned money there. What was the biggest challenge you faced in making the transition?
The biggest transition is I luckily, in my previous career, made enough to really build something here in Hawaii. And I had a bit of savings left. So it's like, when you're starting off, like, you really are sacrificing so much. I think I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And without being paid to do this, like, it's not sustainable. And the trick is really just showing how worth your time is to the funders, so that they understand that, hey, paying somebody to run an organization is probably one of the most important investments you can make into the company or into the nonprofit organization. But money is the thing that makes it sustainable, but it's the passion that really drives the organization. Like, when I said earlier, surfing remains a common theme, it's because we spend so much time in the ocean. We want to see it clean. You look at surfing, and it's one of the only sports where you are just like so into your playing field. Like, you could just stare at it for hours. You can not play in it and just look at it, and you can just swim in it. You don't have to be surfing, and it just brings you so much joy just to be out in the ocean. It's a stark contrast to, let's say, like baseball or soccer or something like that, where you have people taking care of it for you. You have you play on it just for a few hours. You kind of trash it as well. But it's just surfing, at least in many ways, doesn't put that much of an impact into the oceans when you take into account all the people working to keep it clean and raise awareness about the issues surrounding it. So surfing is really the driving force of Sustainable Coastlines Hawaii, and also Sustainable Coastlines New Zealand. So both of us surf a lot. Look at their executive director, Sam Judd. He just got back from the Mentawais on a surf trip. So it's really one of the main driving forces of our organization.
And where did you get the support you needed during this time?
The support, you mean when we were just trying to get the organization going?
For the organization, for you individually as well, in terms of making the change?
Yeah. So the original support really came from having savings saved up from my previous career. And then after that, we looked at other ways we could raise money personally. So Airbnb has actually been a really big help, and it continues to be a really big help. So the sharing economy and being able to utilize services like Airbnb and open up our house to guests like you and other people, it's been kind of a godsend. And then also, Louise was working. I was doing consulting jobs, so I was writing marketing reports for real estate development projects, really letting them know how terrible the market still was. But looking for little things like that, like taking my past expertise and consulting, and then looking for new opportunities like Airbnb. What else did we do? I think at that point it was just pretty much to start writing grants and see where we can go. And then the money started coming in when people believed in what we were doing. It's a pretty easy sell, take a bunch of people out to a coastline and make community service fun. So it wasn't too much of a sacrifice because the money came in pretty quickly. But it really, I guess the real trick is because if you're trying to share how other people can accomplish something like this, I think the real key is relationships with other people and being able to sit across from the table with somebody and listen to what they have to say and figure out how, just actually listen, take away egos and just kind of create a friendship before you get the business going. I think a lot of our success has just been in just having good partnerships and being nice to people. I think that's one of the easiest things to do. Just smile more and be nice to people and realize you're going to get a lot of rejections. But in those rejections, you end up like growing. You end up learning why you got rejected, and you can improve on that for the next time. So like, especially with a nonprofit organization, your first year when you write grants, you usually get rejected, like every single one. But then the next year you might get it, or the next year you might get it. It's like this persistence. They want to see that you're a tried and true organization that doesn't give up. So they'll reject you on principle the first time, So that's another key. So relationships and dealing with rejections in a way to make you grow.
A good reality check to have.
Yeah.
And what's the best part of your lifestyle today?
Best part of my lifestyle today is having a place like this, and I'm getting to spend as much time as I can with my wife and soon to be little girl. And other than that, it's getting to travel the world and surf, going on surf trips or now snowboarding trips, where you can turn it into a way to really spread the message and turn it into a work trip, like a work surf trip. I just got back from the Maldives doing that. Figuring out how you can leverage your new knowledge to educate people abroad in other places to affect change on a larger scale. And, people want to hear these messages all around the world. And if you can identify who those people are and leverage their network, a lot of times you can get these trips subsidized or paid for in their entirety. So, having the opportunity to travel the world is definitely up there as number 2 after family.
Great. And you've already mentioned the importance of relationships and being nice to people. Is there one other piece of advice that you'd give to people finally when they're considering making a change like this, like the one you've gone through?
The best thing to do, especially if it's something like traveling, is just go and buy your ticket. Just go and make the purchase and just do it. We're only on this earth once. We might as well make the most of it and not get caught up in the minutia of constantly worrying about your bills and whatnot. Taking that leap of faith and just watching everything fall into place, or not, and learning from those mistakes so that you don't do it again. But it's for me, it was just buying the ticket to go. And once that happened, you're like, okay, I'm not gonna refund this giant ticket that I just bought. I'm gonna go and see how I'm gonna make this work, and it worked.
So just taking the step and seeing how it goes.
Yeah, plans too. Don't ever plan anything really. Plans never really work out. They should be called guides. Like plans. The best plan is to really just, not have a plan. Sometimes, especially with beach cleaning with 1,000 people on a beach, nothing ever goes as planned. Also, some of the sayings I like to live by are like a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So speak up, let people know what your intentions are, let them know what you want. Because if they don't know, they can't help you. So that's just being proactive and really just getting out there to let people know what you're about. And setting intention, especially like when you're going into different cultures and whatnot. You really want to let them understand why you're there and what your intentions are. Because you leave it up to ambiguity and they start assuming things. That goes with like a closed mouth doesn't get fed. You got to speak up and let people know what you want. And the other one is always like, it's easier to beg for forgiveness than to ask for permission.
That's a good one.
Sometimes just go and do it. But you have to understand the heavy risks involved with doing that. So I wouldn't say put yourself in danger any time, but like there's certain cases where getting caught up in red bureaucratic tape will just hold you back, and it's better to just go for it, and usually everything's fine. Yeah, just go for it.
Just go for it.
Yeah,
Great.
Just buy that ticket and go traveling around the world, or quit that job and start doing something that you really love. Because you go to these resorts, like I just went to this super fancy resort, right? And it's like, I don't know, thousands of dollars a night to stay at this place. And you have people coming from all around the world and they just sit by the pool and just decompress their life, like they just busted their ass probably for a year to pay for this crazy vacation that they just sit here for like 7 days and they're like, this is amazing, this is awesome, and then boom, right back to the grind, right? And it's like, what kind of value is that? To me, that's not really what I would choose to just maybe not work as hard in a crazy lifestyle where you're in a cubicle or behind a desk, and find a lifestyle that allows you to make less but travel more, or make less and spend more time with your family. Like I said, you're only here once. Like, spend it doing the stuff that you like versus making money for someone else. Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's a great call to action. You have a very inspirational lifestyle here, living in Hawaii and having fun, surfing, being with your family while also making a difference. So it's a great model to have in mind as we think about what we want to do.
Yeah, and it's easier than people might think. Like you just gotta take the leap and just do it. And it's not that, you're gonna run into obstacles and you're gonna run into people saying, "What the hell are you doing?" And just believe in yourself, and it'll happen. Yeah, positive vibes are really, really important. And the smiles are contagious, and it'll bring more people around you smiling. And
wonderful. That's a lovely message.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For sharing your experience.
My pleasure, Anna.